All right, boys and girls, we are going to look at adding decimals. So I'm going to go ahead and write a number down. Let's say 24 and 32 hundredths. So let's just have a few quick reminders about decimals. When you are saying decimals, first of all, this number you say first in front of the decimal. So 24, and when you get to the decimal, 32 hundredths. So 24 and 32 hundredths. And now let's add 1 and 7 tenths. So when I hear the and, that's my decimal point. 1 and 7 tenths. One thing that I need to look at here is how my decimals are not, all my decimal place value spots do not have a number in them. So what I can do is I can add a 0 in those spots as placeholders. So the value of this number is exactly the same as 1 and 7 tenths. Try to keep your numbers nice and lined up. So go ahead and add. This would be 2. 3 plus 7 would be 10. So I can carry my 1, bring that decimal point straight down like we talked about. 1 plus 4 is 5, plus 1 more is 6, and 2 plus 0 is 2. So my answer is 26 and 2 hundredths, because this is tenths, hundredths. My 2 is in hundred spots. Okay, let's try another one. So let's say I have 143 and 8 hundredths. So that's what that number looks like, 143 and then I have an 8 in hundredths place, plus 13 and 12 hundredths. So now make sure my decimal points are lined up. I can add them together. This is 10, so carry my 1. This is 2. 3 plus 3 is 6. 4 plus 1 is 5. And 1 plus nothing is 1. So this answer is 156 and 20 hundredths. Tenths, hundredths. So you always say however many places you have in your decimal, wherever you end, that's what you say afterwards. So this is 20 hundredths. Now sometimes you get decimals problems that are written horizontally instead of vertically. So it may look like this: 7 and 58 hundredths plus 10 and 9 tenths. All right, so the thing that you need to remember is that your decimal points have to be lined up. So when I write this problem, 7 and 58 hundredths, I'm going to go ahead and put a decimal point down here below it because I know my decimals have to be lined up. And then I can kind of fill this number in around it. So I have a 0 and I have a 1. And I have a 9. Now, do you guys see the empty spaces for my placeholder? So I have an empty space here in tens because this is just 1, so I can put a 0 there. And I have an empty space here in hundredths, so I can just put a 0 there. Now, if we add them, 8, this is 14, carry my 1, bring my decimal point straight down. 7 plus 1 is 8, and 0 plus 1 is 1. One thing that you might want to try if you're having a hard time lining your decimal points up and your numbers up, a little trick that you can use is you can turn your paper sideways. And so now when I add my problems, these become columns for my numbers to be in. So if I have 15 and 3 tenths plus 8 and 12 hundredths. So you can keep your tenths in this column, your hundredths in this column, ones in this column, and tens in this column. Okay, so now I can add them. and I get 23 and 42 hundredths. If that helps you to keep your numbers organized, it's fine with me if you turn your paper sideways like that. Okay, guys, we're going to practice some together in class now.